power, assurance, and strength. God's Spirit for me is power, because before I didn't have the drive at all to do anything to move forward, especially in my career. Now I don't have any fear because I'm a businesswoman. I have my own business now, and it's striving and moving from strength to strength. God's Spirit for me is also assurance, because before I didn't have any assurance in my mind. I was a very doubtful person. I couldn't see myself in anything positive, but because of the assurance in which He's given me, now I am happily blessed in my marriage. I have the assurance now that I'm moving forward in my love life. Strength for me is where before I was very weak within myself. I had many complexes. I used to think very negative about myself. I would put myself down, even if it was just a simple thing or a simple task even to do. I would be so weak in my mind that I wouldn't have the strength inside to tell myself that I was able to go for it and to overcome, or that yes, I can do something positive. The person who I am today did not happen overnight. It took a process and it took time. I had to put my faith into practice. I had to place my trust and believe in God, and knowing that from the person who I was before, that He will make me to become a better person by placing all those things inside of me, His power, His strength, His assurance inside of me. Today, I'm no longer the person who I was previously before. I'm a new person. I have joy inside me. I have peace. I'm able to give to others what I have inside of me, to share with them.
Good evening and welcome to Finding Answers. We're live here in our London studios. And the topic for tonight deals with something that nearly everyone has experienced at some point or another. Some people may view it as something negative. Actually, many people view it as negative. Some can view it in a positive way. So before we go any further, let's look at tonight's topic.
Imagine if you could rewrite your mind as quickly as you could a document on your computer. No more painful memories, no phobias or ingrained fears, just a blank slate where the scars that mark each human life used to be. Fear is the emotion that many of us try hardest to avoid. Fear may be real, but it may also be a figment of our imagination. Some people may even fear fear itself. Although fear may sharpen our senses and can steer us away from danger, more often than not, fear can limit our thoughts and behaviours and ensure we don't take risks or make those all-important changes in our lives. Haven't we all feared that first exam, that first job interview, or first day at work? But if we ran away from all these fears, we wouldn't stretch ourselves and push ourselves to conquer those challenges. But why not manage and use your fear rather than let it suppress us or ensure we avoid situations? Fear can be a stimulus for innovation, and if you learn to harness the energy of fear, it can be very useful. But don't let yourself be limited by fear. Face the bully. Leave the abusive partner. Fight for that job interview. Don't let fear control you. Forget fear.
So, did you guess what tonight's topic is? Yeah, it's fear. Now, everyone has it at some point. Many people are actually paralyzed by fear. Fear of spiders, fear of heights, fear of an abusive partner, lots of fear. And the video showed, you know, there are many people that go through different types of fear in everyday situations. Now, is the fear that you are going through paralyzing you? Has it got you to a point where you don't know what to do? You're kind of stuck and you don't know where to turn? Well, on tonight's program, our aim is to help you to overcome your fears. Whatever that is, it could be something that many people will see it as funny or small, trivial, but to you, it's something big. Maybe it's something that is more serious, a serious matter, and you don't know what to do with your situation. With me, it's Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Ash.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thanks.
So, from your world of psychology, what have you found out about fear?
Well, fear seems to be more and more of a problem actually as time goes on. So 800,000 more people suffer from fear and anxiety than they did 10 years ago, which brings it to 7 million people having a disorder such as fear or anxiety.
That's in the UK?
That's in the UK, yeah.
And why is that? Why are there 7
million.
7 million more people? Why is that, do you think?
Well, at the moment, when they ask the general public what they're afraid of at the moment, it's things like terrorism and things that we see in the news, and even Ebola comes quite high up, actually. People are scared of things that the media will show regularly, and people may sensationalise certain things, and people are just constantly watching the news. And obviously, now we've got Facebook and Twitter. You know, if something's sent to your phone constantly every day, that's going to cause a natural fear reaction. Right,
and there you go. There's different types of fear, right? I mentioned at the beginning that there is fear that we all go through that is kind of a good thing. And what do I mean by that? It's like a defense mechanism. Maybe you're afraid of dogs, for example. So there's that fear. Why? Because there's a likelihood that you could get bitten by a dog. So that fear protects you. Another example is you're afraid of heights, you know, so you won't climb ladders in case you fall down, which many people have done. So that is like protecting you. That fear protects you from dangerous situations. But I'm not talking about that type of fear tonight. The fear that we want to address is that fear that paralyzes you. Maybe you've gone through a terrible situation in life, a terrible one. Tonight's guest did go through a terrible situation, but without giving much away, it involved abuse. And maybe you've gone through abuse. And if you are watching now and you know what I'm talking about, relationship abuse, you know there's that fear. It could affect you now. Maybe you're still with that person. Maybe you've moved on, but you can't find the right person, or you're not happy in the current relationship because of the fear that has gripped you. Maybe you're afraid of starting something new because you failed in the past. Things didn't go right for you. And so you're afraid to try a new challenge. You're afraid to try something different through fear of failing. Whatever the fear is, we would like to help you on tonight's program. So if you do feel paralyzed, you do feel stuck, you feel as though your future, you can't see a bright future for yourself, then pick up the phone if you wish. You can give us a call. We have a team of pastors waiting to take your call. The number is 0207 686 6300. Victoria, what are the other contact details that you can contact with tonight?
So you can send us an email. Our email address is help@findinganswers.tv, or you can contact us via social media. You can send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV, or you can talk to us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
Also, we like to hear from you. You know, the common fears that you have. So you can always use that same number. If you want to give us a call and speak live on the program, and tell us the type of fears. Maybe you have a fear that is not common amongst people, right? If we listen to the fear that you have, maybe many people laugh at that, but maybe for you it's something that's that's, really a struggle for you to overcome? Victoria, I remember there were people with different fears, and there's some strange ones. There was a person who had a fear of buttons.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've heard of that one.
Fear of balloons. Fear of, really strange things like animal hairs. And you see, those things people can laugh at, but for that person, it really holds them back.
It can be very debilitating. People, if they have a fear of animal hair, that's, they can't go to several places, people's houses. They find it difficult to go, out where animals could be anywhere. They don't actually have to see the hair, but it's actually anticipating it, and it gets in the way of their life.
Maybe now you are afraid of stepping out of your house. Isn't it called agoraphobia?
That's it.
Maybe you are afraid to step out of your house. You don't like to go into public places. How is your life? Can you see how that's making you stuck? You see the sunshine outside, you see people walking outside, but the most you can step out is your front door. You can't move anywhere else. You can't go anywhere else because of the fear, public places, spaces, people around you. And I've come across people who are afraid of this. It's common. They don't even come to church because there's so many people there. They run out of the church, the place where they're supposed to get help. So if you feel this way, you feel stuck, one prayer can change your life. One prayer. And if you want that challenge, then pick up the phone now and get some help. Again, the number's on your screen if you want that. But if you want, you can give us a call and share with us live your abnormal fears. For you, it's not abnormal, but you would like some help, right? We'd like to hear from you. Doesn't matter how strange it is or how common it is. And we invite you to pick up the phone and call us live here on the program. If not, you can talk to our team of pastors and they'll be on hand to help you, advise you, and say a prayer. All right? We're going to go for a break now. When we come back, we're going to meet our guest for this evening. We'll see you after this.
Many people struggle to believe in true love. To some, love is but a fairy tale, a myth, a movie. All couples have differences, but what happens when those differences push them apart? When the spark in the relationship dies down, what happens next? Introducing the Therapy of Love, a weekly session that is open for anyone who is searching for love. Our aim is to assist singles and couples in finding love and a lifetime of happiness together. We provide advice and helpful sessions for anyone searching for true love. Don't settle for an unhappy relationship. Take charge of your love life, build up your confidence, and find the right person for you. Saturday, 7 p.m, only at the Rainbow Theatre. For more information, call 020-7686-6000 or visit our website, thetherapyoflove.com.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight our topic is forget fear. So in the break we were just looking at some uncommon phobias, because we've talked about agoraphobia and fear of spiders, for example, but we wanted to have a look to see whether there was some that you might have that you think nobody else has. So we did look a few up, and some that I'd never heard of is a fear of chins, a fear of beards, and a fear of holes. We've got a fear of cheese. So yeah.
So there you go. And there's lots of fear of holes, you said, right?
Yeah.
Fear of chins. So you see there some quite funny fears, but not to those who have the fear. But we're not talking about that type of fear. We're talking about the fear that cripples you, that makes you stuck in life. You can't move forward. All right? We're going to meet our guest for tonight now, who had a fear. So stay tuned. If you have faced abuse, or even if you didn't, but there's something that's holding you back, you can't move forward, and you feel as though you're on your own. Let's meet tonight's guest.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
So my guest for tonight is Jhaun-Neiki Kinganga. Is that correct?
Yes, that's okay. Yeah.
All right, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So you had this fear,
Yeah.
right? And it started off when you were quite young, when you were abused.
Yes.
Please tell us how things started there.
Well, things started when my dad came to England, because I was born in Jamaica, and I was living with my grandma. And because my parents didn't have means to fund for me, so that's why I lived with her. Then my mum, she had a boyfriend, and he started living inside the house, and she wanted me to come and live with her as well. So I said, okay, no problem, I'll come and live with you. Mm-hmm. And things started off right there. I was 8. It didn't just go into it. It didn't just start like that. I think he started to initiate things. So every single night, if he didn't achieve one way or another, he would achieve another way. Mm-hmm. He used to touch me at night. He did so many horrible things. He threatened me.
So he would come into your room when no one was there.
Yes.
And he would start touching you.
Yes.
How did you feel as that 8-year-old?
As an 8-year-old, actually, I was never thought about things like this. I was never thought about if someone touches you there, you should go and tell your mom, or I know it's something that is small, but I never had this type of advice. So I felt alone. I started to close up, because I was a very open person, but ever since that abuse started happening, the threats, or if you tell your mom, you know what I'm gonna do to you, I started to curve into like a small ball. Mm-hmm. So I had a huge fear of this guy, and I even started to hate him as well. So I was open, but then after the abuse, I started to become even more closed.
Did your mum pick up on anything, your behavior? I mean, did you actually change your behavior? Did you kind of become quiet? Did your school grades start to go down?
Everything started going down. I was actually quite good in maths. I was good in English. I was good in most of the lessons that I had in school. But after the abuse, things started dropping, because my focus wasn't on school anymore. It was just stuck in my mind that I was abused, that I started eating even more. I gained a lot of weight, because my mum, she had a shop as well. She had like a convenience shop that sold food, biscuits, chocolate, and I would sneak in and go and take the food, and I would go and eat it behind no one not knowing, because she used to do like stock count. So I didn't want her to find out, but I gained a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. But I don't think she picked up on anything else, because I tried to be as normal as I could, but it was ripping me up inside.
So, you know, you eating, you put on a lot of weight, I take it.
Yes.
Now, was that a form of, what, comfort for you?
It was a comfort. It was like just comfort eating. I felt good when I ate. I really felt good. It was like I was eating my problems away. But of course, when I didn't have food, I would still be thinking about the problems in my mind. But it's funny because even when I was eating a lot, I loved food, I was eating comfort food, comforting myself, I was still kind of feeding that problem that is in my mind.
Was that still around 8 years old?
That was still 8. It was only around between 8, even before I left for England to come and live with my dad. So between the age of 8 and 11.
So that the abuse was over what? 3?
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah.
3 or 4 years. Okay. Tell us, what was going through your mind as an 8-year-old?
As an 8-year-old, I think I lost my innocency because at that age, I didn't know anything about sex. Of course, I know that my mom and my dad, they had me, but I only thought that sex was only for adults. That was never on my mind to even have sex at 8.
So, without going into too much detail, he wasn't just touching you,
no,
it was full
It was
sex.
full, yes.
Right.
So, at that age, I felt like I lost my innocency. I felt like no one will, if I tell anyone what's happening, they would not be able to understand. Because that's the thing about like when you're abused, even if you were to tell someone, they won't really understand where you came from unless they have fully experienced something like that. Because sometimes I think as an 8-year-old, I thought that I was going through that on my own.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how it was.
So you put on weight, you were eating,
Yeah.
comfort eating. How would your nights be? I'm sure during the day, if you're not at school, you're with friends, or everyone's at home, there's other people there. But at night, when it came to night, how did you feel?
At nights, it was so horrible. It felt like, like when you go on a roller coaster and go to a roller coaster or a theme park, and then you go back home, you still feel like you're on the ride. But at nights, even if there were nights that he didn't touch me or he didn't try to do his full job or do what he was doing, I still felt like he was going to come and touch me. So at nights, I was so paranoid because I was always on the lookout if he's there, because it became really dark. It was really dark when you would turn the lights off in my house. It was really dark. So I always thought that I saw a shadow of him, a figure of him.
So you started becoming paranoid?
I became very paranoid. Became very paranoid. I feel like even if I open my mouth, even if I were to speak to my mom, he would hang around to see if I was going to tell her anything. So I think he even became scared himself as well.
But did you ever try to tell anyone?
No.
Did not even your mum?
No, I never. Because my mom never used to believe anything that I would say. Because also, when I was young as well, I was kind of rebellious as well. I used to lie and this and that. So I used to always think that she would think I would be the same. I'm just lying.
Right.
Because she knew I didn't like the guy. So
Right.
of course she'll be thinking I'm trying to get back at her, and I really wasn't trying to.
So was there fear of your mum not believing you as well?
Yes.
So the fear of him coming and abusing you all the time, but also the fear that you wouldn't be believed.
Yeah.
So you kept that to yourself?
Yes.
That must have been really hard for you.
It was really hard, yeah.
Now, you said you started binge eating or
Yeah.
eating, you put on a lot of weight.
Yes.
What else did you go through?
Well, by this time, I already moved to England already, but it didn't just start like that, because I became really heavily addicted to pornography. But this started
That was
in
after
Jamaica.
the abuse?
Yeah, this was after the abuse.
Right.
Because
How did you have access to pornography?
I
in
only had
Jamaica?
access because we didn't really have internet at that time, because family was quite poor at that time. So we only had TV with cable, and it was only late night TVs. I would get access to that. That's what I used to do. I used to be also addicted to masturbation as well. It was really, it's like I could not go a day without watching pornography, and that's how much my mind was empty, because I was trying to block out everything. So I think I just threw myself into.
So how did you, I mean, if he was abusing you,
Yeah.
was it nearly every night or almost every night?
It was almost every night.
So when would you find the time to watch it? After he had done?
After, no, because, okay, when the abuse started, I would, like before anyone would go to bed, I would be watching it because I would have a TV in my own room.
Right.
So I would watch, and plus it, like how cable is here, it's not connected where if you watch the channel, someone else can see what you're watching. It was different because I had a TV in my room and that's it.
So sometimes you'd watch pornography.
Yeah.
And then afterwards he would come in and abuse you.
Yeah, he would come and abuse.
And then what would you go to sleep? Would you continue watching pornography?
No, I would be sleeping. I would be sleeping. But the TV was off and everyone's sound asleep. Because the way my family back then, like my mom, the way she used to sleep like, even if you shook the earth, she wouldn't wake up. Yeah. So that's how it was.
So you said you came to the UK.
Yeah.
Why was that?
I came to the UK because for better opportunity, my dad started living here, and then my mom, she sent me to live here.
Did you feel that was a good thing for you or a bad thing? Good thing in terms of I'm escaping now, I'm going to get a better life, or bad thing because my mum is sending me away?
I would say that it was a good thing because I was going as far as I could from this guy. No more connection with him, nothing at all. But bad also because I hated my dad, because I believe that if he had stayed with me in Jamaica, because my mom and dad, they're separated. So I believe that if he had stayed in Jamaica, because my dad always wanted me around him, and I'm like a daddy's girl. So I always wanted to be with my dad. That's how I was. I never, when he left for England, I even cried. I was so upset at him. So.
But now you're going to meet him over here in the UK. You were angry at him.
I was angry, but I never showed it to him.
Right.
I never showed it to him. But I think he knew that I hated him because I was calling him by his first name, John. I didn't have respect for him.
And did he ask you why?
No.
That was?
No.
Right.
He didn't.
So, over here in the UK, you were here now, you were what, 12?
Yeah.
Years old. How did things start over here? Was it like things have changed now, or did things get worse?
It got much more worse because I didn't find a way to get rid of the pornography. It even became much worse. I masturbated even more, watched, because
now access is easy available over here now,
yeah, because you have internet on the phone, you have internet, you can go online, you can go into internet cafes, you can do anything at all, internet, of course, inside of your home. So it was easy access. So things didn't ease down, it became a bit more worse. Of course, my dad didn't do anything like that to me, so the hatred grew, the hatred started growing. I started feeling much more emptier. I felt much more of a bigger void inside, and I just kept on pouring myself into pornography, thinking I would find an answer.
Were you still kind of comfort eating as well?
I was still comfort. I was still big. I was still big.
Now you had a big array of foods over here, sweets.
Exactly.
So you were there
eating. By the time I was 16, I was UK size 22 woman.
Really?
Yeah.
22.
22. My neck was black. You could see, I don't know, you can just see the discomfort in me, because I was never comfortable in my own skin. I hated myself because I think I was blaming myself for the abuse anyway.
Did you develop any health problems? I'm
No.
sure 22 size 22.
Size 22.
What's that in stone? Do you know?
Probably 16, 17 stone.
16. So did you develop any kind of breathing problems?
Yes, breathing, but breathlessness. I could not run for a long time. But any type of health issues, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go for a break now. When we come back, you're going to hear how Jhaun-Neiki, sorry. You're going to hear how Jhaun-Neiki developed something else. I won't go into detail. She's going to explain that to you. So let's go for a break. We'll be back after this.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you. The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier?
Every day, the course of life teaches us many lessons, but not all of them are positive. Even though we move forward, many times the journey becomes difficult. Sometimes it may seem like we will never get over what happened. We women know what it is to carry the burden of the past. But the truth is, the past does not need to influence the future. You have the option to change your story. We can show you how. Come to participate in the Inner Healing Seminar designed specifically for women on Saturday the 21st of February at the Rainbow Theatre, 232 Seven Sisters Road, London, N4 3NX, and entrance is free. For more information, give us a call on 020 7686 6000, uckg.org.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight our topic is forget fear. So as usual, we've been talking to the general public about the topic of fear.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And so
you can have as many friends and family as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Chica on the streets of London for Finding Answers. Fear. It's a vital response to danger, but can be irrational, like my fear of pigeons. This can be limiting at times. So imagine we didn't have any fear. What would you do? I'm going to find out from the general public. Let's see what they say. What would you do if you couldn't feel fear?
You wouldn't have the fear of dying. So you could just proceed with life without any worries.
I think I would get up and go on holiday somewhere on my own.
I'd feel extremely happy, so I wouldn't need to do anything at all. I wouldn't do anything about it.
I think I would do like adrenaline stuff. You know, like when you do all like skydiving and stuff like that. But I'm scared of that. And roller coasters, everything. But I'm scared of that stuff, so nah.
If I couldn't feel fear, I'd probably just tell everyone that I wanted to say things to all the bullies and all the people I don't like, everything I thought of them, really.
Skydiving. Yeah, so I would go skydiving, yeah. Afraid of heights.
I'd be happier, I think. Yeah, I'd be happier. I'd achieve more.
I guess you live life with less worries, sort of thing, not worrying about other people and things that may happen to them. Be a bit freer, I suppose.
Well, that's the kind of dream, right? Not to have fear. But as I said at the beginning of the program, that fear is a defense mechanism, right? It can protect us. But what happens when fear cripples you? It stops you from doing certain things, like in the case of our guest tonight. So back to Jhaun-Neiki. I keep getting it. Jhaun-Neiki. Okay. So please tell us, when you were in the UK now, you were binge eating, putting on weight because of the abuse that you had gone through at the hands of your stepfather or mum's boyfriend. So when you were here now, tell us what happened next.
I never thought that this would have ever happened, but all the hatred, everything that I had against my father, my stepdad, I just initially started hating men. I had boyfriends, like when I came to the UK and I started high school, but I never felt anything. So my desires started going to the opposite sex. And I started having relationships, started having sexual encounters with other women as well. So because of everything that I went through.
Was that because you thought that every guy
would be the same,
would do the same
or want the same thing? Yes. So that's what I did. I never ever thought that, before it was wrong. It was a type of wrong lifestyle. I just thought, okay, this is what I'm going through, and I thought that at that moment, I have every right to be here. I thought that actually there was no hope for me. So yeah,
I'm going to ask you a controversial question. Many people would probably disagree with me, but were you born with tendencies to have relationship with other women?
No, I wasn't born that way.
You were heterosexual?
I was heterosexual, that's it.
So I take it then, because of what happened to you, you decided, you know what, it's like a defense. You know, I don't want to get hurt by any man, so I'm going to go for women. I'm going to go for, other females.
Because before, genuinely, as I was saying, I didn't know if anyone would believe me or understand what I was going through. So at that moment, that's why I thought, okay, women understand me more. Women understand what I'm going through at that moment. So I just threw myself into that type of lifestyle. I didn't even tell no one what I was doing.
When you say that lifestyle, what are we talking about?
Sleeping around with women, because it's not just a lifestyle. It's also like people think, okay, I was born this way, but sometimes you're not just born that way. Sometimes it's something that happened along the past, sometimes for you to go this way. And
that's what happened in your case.
And that's what happened in my case.
Okay, so that was how you were. Today, you are a different person.
Totally.
Tell us, how did you get help to overcome the fear and move on in life?
Because my dad my dad remarried. He remarried, so I have a stepmom. So basically, she had a friend, and they lived on the same street as us, and she invited me to her church, and the teachings that I received was not like.
So this is a good friend.
It was a good friend.
That you decided to go along. Why did you go along? This is church now.
Of course.
You are. You could say I'm a lesbian, or I had those. I was doing those things.
Yeah.
The last place you want to go to is church, because you probably think people judge you. So why did you go?
As I said, I didn't have any hope. I might as well just try something, because I tried everything else to get rid of.
What did you try?
I even tried suicide. I tried to commit suicide many times.
How?
Knife in front of me, trying to jump in front of trains, everything like that.
So what stopped you?
There was always something that was saying to me that this just can't be it. This can't be life.
More.
There's something much more than living in this type of life, going through what I went through. So,
So let's now forward that to your friend invited you to
so my friend invited me to her church.
Yeah.
And like I said, what I heard, of course, initially I would get upset, because the first thing when I went there, my first day, I really liked it. Everyone was so friendly.
What did you hear there? What was it that you liked?
I think the message that I heard, which really stuck to me, was about forgiveness. I learned that
That was the first message?
That was the first message that I learned.
Right. Coincidence?
No, I didn't find it as a coincidence. I actually don't believe in coincidences.
Right.
So the first message that I heard was about forgiveness. And I learned that forgiveness was not for the other person. It's for me, because he's enjoying his life. He's married. He's there with my stepmom. He's there with my mom. He's there enjoying his life. He's not. He can even probably forget about what he done. But I would be stuck with everything that I'm feeling.
It's like every time you look in the mirror,
yeah,
there's the effect of what happened. The fact that you're different. You're a few stones heavier.
Yeah.
Right. You're unhappy. You're depressed, you're sad, you're suicidal as well.
Yeah.
So even looking in the mirror, did you like what you saw in the mirror?
No. I used to really hate myself. I had low self-esteem, really low.
Yeah. So forgiveness.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
I forgave him.
Just like that?
No, it wasn't easy.
So what were the steps then to forgiving him?
The step to forgiving him was... It was just like this. So the step to forgiving him was I had to learn how to not look at him in that way anymore. I didn't want to, I don't know, I just didn't want to.
Maybe he was abused in his past, right? Maybe something happened to him to cause him to do that. And that's hard. I'm not trying to help you, it's hard.
No, of course, I understand.
It's hard for you to get around that, but
yeah,
you were thinking more for yourself, I've got to free myself from this, this prison that I'm in.
So, right? I don't know. I just decided to forgive him. It was hard. I was rebelling like deep inside. It's like no, but what happened to me was unfair. Like it was unfair. But I had to accept and I had to move on. That this has happened, and now holding on to it. I've tried that. That didn't work. So now, let me just give this a go. Because there's nothing hurts in trying. And that's what maybe many people think. They've tried everything else. But why not just try something else?
What do you think helped you the most in doing that? Was it the advice? Was it the prayer, a combination, or something else?
I received a lot of prayers for it. And I even learned how to use my own faith as well. Because everyone has faith, but it depends on how they use it. So I learned how to use my faith. I learned how to also believe that I can forgive him. The way I knew how to forgive him, the way I knew how I forgave him, was that even when I spoke to him, when my mom called, I didn't feel anything against him.
So you did actually call?
I did actually.
And speak to him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
I didn't tell him about what happened, but I just carried on as if nothing had ever happened. And that's how forgiveness it was.
So whether definitely his conscience accusing him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So whether he thinks it's over with or stuff like that, not a problem. That's him.
Yeah.
But you've moved on.
I moved on.
And how is Jhaun-Neiki today?
Yeah. Today I'm happy. I don't binge eat anymore. Don't sneak to eat snacks. I love myself. I love the skin that I'm in. I no longer try to commit suicide. I no longer feel emptiness. I don't longer have that void anymore. I don't longer need to throw myself into pornography, masturbation.
Are you afraid of men?
No, I'm married to one. I'm married to one.
So no more tendencies to sleep with women?
No more as well, no more.
How long have you been married now?
I've been married for 1 year and 7 months.
Right, and how is marriage?
Marriage is not easy, but I really do love it because it's showing me things that I also need to change in myself, because I didn't get married just for myself. I got married also because I knew the person and I want to make him happy, our goals, what we have, our vision. I knew that us being together will make it even much more greater. And
right.
Yeah.
Good, brilliant. So thank you very much for coming, sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
So there you have it, someone who was able to overcome fear because of what she went through. Now, maybe your story is a different one, right? Maybe it's similar, but you can't move forward. Fear has stopped you. You're stuck. You can't seem to reach where you want to reach. Maybe you feel suicidal. We're going to have a prayer at the end of the program, and we want to help you. And don't forget, the lines are open if you would like someone to pray for you. The prayer, similar prayer that Jhaun-Neiki received as well. She received prayer. She received one-to-one advice. And if you want, we can put you in touch with organizations that can help you as well, right? Abused women, we can put you in touch if you feel as though there's no one out there. We have contact details, so you can give us a call and even get the number if you wish, all right? So let's go for a break now. When we come back, we will be saying this prayer for you. We'll see you after this.
Hi, the Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
So ladies, it's lovely to have you in the studio with me. I'm rather excited.
Does character matter? If you're married, you shouldn't be flirting with somebody else on that.
Forward and back, forward and back. Roll on the knee.
Relationships and money, can the two really work? Absolutely. I think that appearance is important.
How do you define character?
Yeah.
And you want to have that perfect house, but you've got to realise everything happens at the right time.
I've got a friend who puts all her business on Facebook, and I just can't stand to read it.
You're learning already. Do you cook at home?
Yes, I cook.
Mr. Right is just right under your nose.
You get a checklist, but that checklist becomes a shopping list.
But in life, sometimes it's good to be different.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before we go for the prayer, just to remind you that if you are afraid, fear has held you back, stopped you. It's not allowing you to move forward. It's not allowing you to achieve what you want to achieve in life. Maybe you feel alone. Maybe you feel suicidal. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you're still being abused. Maybe because of your past failures, you can't move on. You can't try new challenges. Well, with God, I'm going to put God in the picture now. Because if you've tried everything else and nothing has seemed to work, Jhaun-Neiki tried it, but nothing worked for her until she tried prayer. It was like the last door and last option opened for her, and she took it without worrying what other people would think. But she tried and she loved it. Actually, the first message was about forgiveness. It was something that she needed to do to move on. She didn't carry that hatred inside anymore. She actually said, you know what, I've got to move on. And maybe instead of looking or focusing on what you are afraid of, look at the solution. Look at what can I do now with me to change. And God, that's where God comes in, because he can help you kickstart that change. He can help you face that fear. So if you feel as though you are stuck, we're going to pray for you now. Get your glass of water ready, because I'm going to bless it now. And when you drink it, I believe this will be like medication, right? It's going to cleanse you. Fear starts from within. Fear of the unknown. So if you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring to you, what tonight may bring to you, then after this prayer, I believe that God is going to do a change in your life. It's time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your spiritual well-being, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My God, we all know, we've all been through it at one time in life. Fear can hold us back. Fear of the unknown. Fear of starting something new because of failures in our past. Fear that what went wrong will continue to go wrong, like abuse. My God, how can this person who maybe they're looking at the screen now with tears in their eyes, how can this person move forward? That's what they're thinking. But God, there is an answer in everything when we turn to you. And maybe this is the last resort because this person's tried everything. So my God, no matter the fear that they have, if it's something as small, but to them it's something big, a fear of balloons, a fear of pigeons, a fear of holes. Maybe it's the fear of starting a new challenge. This person who wants to be independent and start their business, but maybe past businesses have failed and they've lost hope, they've lost all confidence in themselves. Maybe this person is afraid of starting a new relationship, afraid of leaving that abusive partner for fear of being alone. My God, when this person will drink this water, may it be blessed now. So when they drink it, this fear, this worry, this hurt, fear of the dark, fear of sleeping, my God, if there is anything negative that oppresses them during the night, Lord, wash this feeling, take away this hurt, take away this pain, so this person will be able to move forward and reach their goals, achieve what they want, they set out to achieve. So in the name of Jesus Christ, friend, drink this water now and be renewed. God strengthens you now as you drink it. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I want to leave you with a quote for tonight. Look what this says. If you live in fear of the future because of what happened in your past, you will end up losing what you have in the present. Keep those words with you, all right? If you live in fear of the future because of what happened in your past, you will end up losing what you have in your present. So God doesn't want you to live in the past. He doesn't want you to worry about your future. He wants you to think of the here and now. That's why we prayed for you now. So tonight, you are going to see a difference. Tonight, a change has already started taking place inside of you. And believe that God is there with you. All you have to do is call upon him, right? Even though you don't know how to pray, just call his name. Call upon him and he'll be there to hear you and help you. All right? It's been a pleasure being with you. We'll be back tomorrow for another Finding Answers. We'll see you then. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.